If we can get my little man here at some point on the show one time, him and his mother,
Heck yeah.
I would love for that to happen. I had a mother reach out to me and say she had an 8-year-old son who's a special kid with autism, and he understands me. And I'm saying, man, all these grown folks, they don't understand. She said, he understands you.
And the only guy that understands him.
Yeah, and I told her, I got to meet him today. I said, can I meet him today? And she's like, what? I said, yeah, I need to meet him today. So
well, bring them on camera. Let's.
Come on,
want to get on camera? Come on.
Come on, buddy. Yeah, my partner. Come on, man, give me a hug. What's up, buddy? Let's talk to you. Let's talk to you, man.
Well, it's the land of the free and home of the brave. Stay us in the house of the community. But leave them alone and what they're gonna say. With the clean back, fucking Marcus here to stay.
Focus on a gift that you got. So your gifts can make room for yourself, or your kids can have a legacy. Because a wise man stores up an inheritance for his children's children's children. He don't help the community and die broke like Martin Luther King and their children suffer. You don't help the community and die like Malcolm X broke.
Well,
I didn't want to do that.
You can make the money and bring people up with you.
That's what I've been doing.
That's essentially it.
But that's
right.
what I had to learn how to do that. So everybody around me, we didn't know nothing about none of this, and we all making money. So now the whole community is benefiting more. Mm-hmm. Man, I take care of more people now, and it feels good to do it.
Because you took care of yourself.
Yeah.
Man. I mean, it's such a living, breathing example of why you should do that.
Yeah.
You really got to go into the communities. And we talked about this last time, I think we talked. You've got to have your own self together before you can go and really change somebody's life, even if you're convicted to change them.
You need a wife. You need a wife like you had.
Oh, man.
When you was getting pulled so far across over there, man, what the fuck wrong with you? This ain't you, mother. So you need that. You need somebody in your circle.
Check. Yep.
That can check that shit.
She would check me for sure.
So I have that. I have that. Man, if my mama hear about something, when my mama found out some of the things that I was saying, to Garrett Hull's family, man, nah, my mom wouldn't plead with that shit.
That's
my mother told me, son, you got yourself in this mess. You better get yourself out of it. The lawyer said it ain't nothing nobody can do. You got yourself in this mess. And she showed back up with the Bible. And I didn't read it. I said, I don't need it this time. I can talk to him in spirit. I know I was wrong. Yeah, I know I was wrong.
Yeah.
So that's why I made me right.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, I got me right because I knew I was wrong.
Yeah, that is hardcore. It's hardcore, man. That is hardcore. Well, I'm glad that you've come back around, and I'm glad that you're seeing success. I still didn't have a chance to talk to you about your comedy tour.
We'll do it next time.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it next time. I'm trying to get the old man Pops on here.
Come on.
I'm trying. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Nobody knew what you did, but when I told them about what you did, it almost erased what you done.
Well, I hope so. I mean, honestly, what I did is also necessary.
You didn't do nothing wrrong. It's just in the criminal world, in their world, man, you locked us up.
Yeah, I get it. But it's not
in their eyes, listen to me, Tegan, one of the most gangsters of them all, you know his name. Even in their eyes, they like, whoa. I don't know what transpired between y'all. Obviously, they saw something good.
Well, that's a beautiful thing, man. And nothing makes me happier than to hear that. Because I don't have a chance to talk to them. That comes
straight out of his,
Because like I said, I'm not trying to go back out and poke the bear. There's some of those guys that I talk to, some of the guys are still locked up that I write all the time. But I am just leaving well enough alone and praying for the best for them, that they get out and they are successful. That's all. But I'm not trying to go out and poke the bear. So to hear that feedback is really inspiring.
My advice, and I've said this publicly to every guy that's been a part of that operation that they got arrested. If they were smart as they was in the streets, they would piggyback off what you did. You gave them some game that could change their life if they'll just write a book.
Yeah.
Because even they book can go into a movie. When I saw what they paid these guys to put these movies on Tubi, I got a Roku channel now. I ain't just trying to get these guys is getting buku money to put these bullshit movies on Tubi. I'm talking about, man, first check, 100-some thousand. And this is without major productions.
Really?
Just on Tubi.
Oh,
Murder Payne is the highest black actor on, when they showed, the producers went to show me them checks. Cause I went to a movie premiere. And I'm saying, man, I want into this movie shit, man. So I'm saying, if these guys were really smart, they'll read your book and piggyback off that motherfucker from their point of view.
Yeah.
From their point of view.
For sure. That's the way this story needs to be told anyway. And that's, the TV series we're working is exactly that. I mean, listen, my goal is, just like The Wire was, when you watch it, you find yourself rooting for that guy to kind of get away with it because you actually really like him. You have empathy for the bad guy, and the good guys are all in the mix, which is exactly what real life is. This isn't a Batman story. This is about trying to do something that's right and then realizing that that's only a piece of what really makes it right, and then trying to go another step further and understand how these guys came up to do what they did and keep their kids from doing that. And there's so many stories that deserve to be told. So you should be telling this.
I swear to God,
both sides. We're going to do it,
I swear to God, if 50 Cent and them got this story, it'll shut power down. That BMF, the story about Big Meech, that's a hell of a story.
Yeah.
But man, if they get this, if they get wind, so that's when you said The Wire. This story is our modern day Wire for this generation.
Yeah, for sure.
With this, so when I watch The Wire now, I see how easy and how dumb it was for them to get us on cell phones and pay phones. The technologies that were starting to develop then, that's surpassed that now, that makes it even better for them to catch criminals.
Yeah.
One white guy walking into a black neighborhood doing what you done, man. Can't know, but man, this some shit. Man, you gotta respect it, or you can't respect the streets, right? Or you either say, these guys were super duper dumb to let this happen, or this guy had to be one clever motherfucker. Either way, you gonna have people rooting for these guys, people rooting for this guy, which gonna make for a blockbuster story.
Well, hell, man, at the end, I was rooting for him to get less time.
I know.
And the ones that believed me, I actually testified on their behalf for their character, so that they would get less time. I testified. This is a people's story, man.
I want this story, man. I want this. That's why I'm so, man. Long before we met, I was already drawn to your spirit from what you did, the aftermath of what you did. So I'm holding on to this story. I ain't really told nobody, but I know you done it. I tell a few people, nah, man, that white boy that did that, nah, he got that. So I would tell a few people. But for them to know that, man, and not only that, the psychology, the emotional attachment that all plays in a part of that. That's not acting.
No,
that's not pretending.
Yeah. Man,
that's not pretending.
Yeah, I got wrecked over all this for sure.
That's what they don't know, man. But when he said what he said, I said that's the mercy and grace that God looks for. God don't care about our feelings. He don't care about our happiness. He care about our salvation and his glory. Do he get the glory? So for this gangster nigga to say what he said, you heard God's glory. And he don't really talk. He's not a talkative person. Right? So for him to say what he said, man, that's God's glory.
Yeah.
It saved my life.
And that's why it makes me so happy to hear it, because again, I could have been long gone by the time he even said that. But the fact that he said it means there was that's the legacy. It doesn't mean that I changed. It's a circumstance that changed his life, not me personally.
Yeah.
So if my legacy is that I leave in my wake some other success stories, that's what we want. I don't need a story that stars me. I need a story that stars everyone else's success from bottom to top.
If this story is told, if this story can never be told, they're going to see these guys got out of prison and became successful truck drivers. These guys are independent owner operators of their own trucking companies now.
Hell yeah.
One of the guys have written a book. Most of the guys have went into business and is doing extremely well in the box truck business.
Beautiful.
Few of the guys are in the oil fields, taking their mothers on trips finally with legal money, not looking over their shoulders. So a lot of good came out of what we thought was bad.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So, and if nothing else, because of what we thought was destroyed, the Hope Form was created.
Yeah.
If nothing else,
yeah,
the Hope Form was created.
Man, that's no better way to disrupt that cycle, man, than to catch them at age 5 and just mentor them. You know, these kids that don't have fathers, or that they're in prison, or they've been murdered, or what a great program, man. I
love it, man. So that's where you warmed my heart at, and then to meet you in person and see the spirit of the man. See, to hear about the works and the actions of the man is one thing, but to meet the man and see the spirit of the man was two totally separate things. So I see how you got in and made the connections and bonds. I see how. Yeah.
I appreciate that. I wasn't, like I said in the book, I didn't really change my personality a lot, other than I decided I was going to start buying keys.
Yeah.
I wouldn't decide that now, but if I really decided how was I going to do that? So anyway, hey.
And then, man, just the fascinating part that it was just you and one superior. You had no backup.
Well, that's the only way it actually worked, because otherwise, if you get too many people involved, I never would have been allowed to do that.
Yeah.
When you get a phone call 11 o'clock at night, somebody says, man, I'm on my way back from Waco. I got a something. Do you want a something? And I just get up and show up. I can't have time to go set up a bunch of 98 Ford Explorers with a bunch of white dudes and microphones all around the place. I mean, it would have lasted a day. Yeah. But no way it would have worked that way. Yeah. So, you know how that works. You got to show up and do your thing. So anyway, that guy was a blessing.
I damn near want to say I hate you ain't a cop no more. But I think you're a better use over here. Yeah, I think you're a better use over on this side of the street.
I'm quite glad it's over with, man. I'll be honest with you. I got lots of better things to do from here, but I don't regret it.
Man, I got several, several platforms that I pitched this. Hey, man, would you like to? Oh, yeah. So they're very, because this is the Donnie Brasco story that nobody gets to hear is outside the movies.
Yeah. We don't get to do this kind of work very much anymore. It doesn't really exist like it used to in the 70s and early 80s, really.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, I don't know how those guys turned out. One of them, one of the guys that endorsed my book did as intensive in undercover work as possible. He's an older guy than I am, but it's very admirable work. But to see people come out and make good of it, that's really the key, man. I'm glad to hear that there's some success stories behind that, besides just that little hood, which I think made some strides also. So I appreciate you telling me that, and I'll do anything I can to help you, man, and your plight too. I know you come over here. Our friendship wasn't supposed to be based on coming to do my podcast. This is like a side joint.
Yeah.
So the next time we link up, how about we go visit your brother or something?
Yeah, I'm gonna invite this Saturday. I'm gonna invite you out to Mama House. I'm gonna throw a barbecue.
Okay, there you go.
Yes, you come check us out at Mama House, man. Everybody eat at Mama House family.
I got to meet this hero. I done heard a lot enough about Mama.
You'll see when you see her, you gonna know everything. Say, okay, yeah, just the presence of her, man. In my mind, your mother and your father are supposed to be the closest thing to God in your eyes. My mother is the closest thing to Jesus I know. So I take her word that God is real. And I went and talked to this God, and I made him real to me because it was real to her. I pray to Jesus. You can't tell me nothing about Jesus. And I watched my mama take it and make it real. If it's fake, I watched her make it real. So I believe it. So I inherited my mother's beliefs. I inherited my mother's value system. You do right because right is the right thing to do, son. Not for no rewards. You don't do right to vote. You do because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And she would instill that in us. And I just thought she didn't know what she was talking about because she was a woman.
Now you just create a whole nother podcast topic for another day. Oh, brother. Next time, man.
Next time, man. I guess we out.
Oh yeah, well we'll talk about the barbecue next. We'll talk about meeting your mom, meeting
then we
your brother.
gotta talk about the comedy, man. Because I was explaining to you earlier.
Absolutely,
that's a whole nother show though.
For sure, I want to. But I'll grab my son to come watch that because I know Johnny, our producer, also is a big fan of. He goes to see comedians all the time. And my son is infatuated. I would love for you to discuss that when they're here too, because these two cats are going to have tons of questions.
Why don't you give us your type 5 right now?
Top 5 comedians?
No, your tight 5 minutes. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'm about to say. Oh man, I gotta think of it because
you don't have 5 right off the bat.
Well, the whole Soldier Boy situation go take 5.
Yeah, all right.
Then I talk about me going into the mental hospital, and how Mama was roasting my ass, and how the orderly, I kept saying, man, how you get out this motherfucker? I look at this orderly, and he just sitting there, not saying nothing, big old guy. I go over there and ask him, say, man, what you got to do to get out of here? He didn't even look at me. He said, take the medicine. Take the medicine. So I'm thinking, man, what kind of medicine they gonna give me? I hadn't talked to no doctor, and the doctor said, hey, I'm gonna prescribe you this. Here's the side effects. Few hours go by, I heard somebody say, White! I jump up thinking they finna finally let me go. They done changed their mind. They said, medication. I said, medication? And the doctor ain't prescribed me no medication. I said, man, what's the side effects? She said, oh, it ain't no side effects. We'll just take it. I said, man, everything got a side effect.
No side effects.
Man, everything got I hadn't signed no papers or nothing. So in my mind, this is America. But one of the worst things you can do in this situation is get angry and refuse this kind of stuff.
Because they'll force you into taking something.
There you go.
Oh,
I'm playing bad. I'm thinking it's jail. You remain the right to stay silent. You don't talk to nobody. You fold your arms and wait to talk to the judge. Well, weeks go by before you see a judge. At least 7 to 10 days.
Oh, hell.
By this time, you're already full of medication because you ain't going to keep refusing. Not under these conditions. So what that taught me is there's a law that gives a police officer the authority to say, man, your fucking mouth's too smart. I'm not taking you to jail because I'm taking you to the mental hospital. And once I put you in this mental hospital, no one can find out where you are because you're an adult. Your mama can't call and say, hey, you got Charleston right there. Man, we can't release his medical information.
Well, that's why I was so concerned about the premise behind how they sent you, because typically you have to be able to articulate in verbiage
that let me just say this.
You're a danger to yourself or others. And usually it's because you said, well, I'm going to kill myself or I'm going to go kill whatever.
Well, they didn't. They just had, everybody, let me just say this, man. I don't want to say this, but I have to.
Oh, no.
Everybody was in on it because I had offended everybody.
Yeah.
They couldn't have done this without first going to the black leaders and the black pastors. And I ain't going to say their names. And I should. I had already been offending the black pastors from working and going against the powers to be. When the Jackie Craig situation happened, I was one of the only young people in a room full of the mayor, every top brass in the Fort Worth Police Department, and every black leader in this city, from Reverend Bell to Reverend McKissick, Bishop Daniel, man, all of them was in there, right? So I got the influence and the power with the youth. They don't, right? So I've emerged past them. So, and I don't go to any of their churches. I don't really work with none of them. And I won't buy into the hate rhetoric, right? Every time something happened to be hateful toward the police. So I'm trying to bridge the gap. I'm got the back the blue stickers. Man, I'm at the gun buybacks. I'm promoting all of this. So I created a lot of enemies with the black pastors. Eddie Griffin at the time was an older black man who was like the advisor to Chief Joel Fitzgerald. Well, I'm anti-Chief Joel Fitzgerald at the time because I'm buying the political rhetoric of the Fort Worth Police Officers Association with Rick Van Houten. So I'm really going against Chief Joel Fitzgerald until we sit down and meet. Man, so at this let me just stick to the Jackie Craig situation happened with Officer Martin. They asking off with his head. So I meet with the Muslims. I can't think of the Muslim. So I meet with Minister Lee. So all of us meet, the black leaders. And I'm saying, hey, y'all, let's not ask for his head. How can y'all say y'all are black pastors and y'all believe in God and y'all never have compassion and forgiveness? Every incident with the police, y'all are saying, off with his head. If they kill us, off with his head. If they say, so we have to find a medium. We can't always say off with their head at every situation.
Some of them deserve it, and other ones
Not
have
every situation.
different circumstances.
Yeah,
I get it.
So let's look at this situation.
Can't cry foul every time, or they're going to start ignoring you.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, rather than having him suspended without pay, how about y'all put him over here in the Stop Sis community since he got a problem with black people, let him work with black kids and learn how to get along with black people. Put him over here and force him to work with us under the scrutiny of watch. He's going to learn something. If nothing else, he's going to learn something about himself or something about the people. But he's going to learn something. So let's not always be down to punish. Let's teach too. There can't be teaching moments. So I got a lot of pushback. So we had a private meeting. And I was invited to the private meeting with the police department. They knew I was going to stand up and say something to the black pastors. That's why they invited me. And I did. I stood up and I said something to black elders that you don't say. I said, don't none of you niggas do nothing for us in the community. Y'all sitting down here fighting with these people who down here trying to raise money for her defense team.
So you lofted softballs at them, basically, what you're saying.
And the top brass looked and they was trying to see how they was going to respond to me. And they got angry and didn't know how to respond to me. I said, y'all don't do nothing in the community. But what I was noticing that our black leaders was acting like immature children. This is the first time I'm hearing them say about procedural justice and what the plan is and and I'm saying, man, that sounds like it might work. They was talking about the Success Through Respect program. At the time, Officer Pena and somebody else was coming through the community teaching it. So I'm partnering with them and I'm saying, man, this is a good goddamn program. Don't you know I teach that on my YouTube channels and I get so many testimonials saying, man, that worked for me, man. Sitting there holding your steel, cut all the lights on, let the windows down, tell your buddy, that officer know you done that for his safety. And I'm saying, why would they be fighting with the leaders about money? And this is the information that'll help us. The money helps them. The information would help us if they knew it.
Yeah.
So I started saying, hey, man, so I bought into it. I didn't know everybody was playing politics. I didn't know, man.
I know, man. Politics ruins everything.
I didn't know, man.
Yet we still need the politicians to step up. That's who's going to help us. It's an irony.
I was gonna run this year, but then the comedian shit took off. I wanted to split the votes because I know they're rezoning, so they're redistricting. So I was gonna just run with a possibility of beating Gina Bivens in District 5.
Yeah.
In hopes of that Jesse Taylor would win the other district. I think District 7. So I know I could win. But I don't want to be boxed in. Politicians are boxed in where they almost forced a lot of people. They can't be brutally honest.
But we still need one that is brutally honest. Even if it's one term and out, we start the trend. We
need a motherfucker that's going to say in there, man, I'm only here for one term, to be honest.
Yeah, and if you elect me again, I'll be surprised, but I'll do just as well.
And I'll continue to be honest.
Yeah. Man. When you get ready, you need to let me know. For real. I got some people I need to link you with if you decide.
I sincerely thought about it when it got time. I got my first comedy show at the BET Awards, and I said, man, fuck that shit, man. I like this road. But no, man, in the end, that's my ultimate goal is to get back in local politics. I was a precinct chair. I was an election judge. So that's where I really found fulfillment at. But not that I don't find it on stage doing comedy now.
You're making a massive difference. And who knows, maybe that'll feel like more your calling when this is done. Or if it ever is done. If it's not done, that's fine too. But if you ever get back into the pool where you think you might want to wade in, there's somebody I can't imagine. We never have a good even presidential candidate, because who the hell wants to run for that? Who wants to put themselves through that?
Yeah. We put too much expectation on the president as people, not understanding he's the commander in chief of this country's military. So he's ours, but he's not ours. That's what our politicians are for. That's what our mayor, our county commissioner, shout out to Tim O'Hara, I love him. Your U.S. congressional member, your state senator. Our kids don't even get to touch these people anymore. See them, walk down the neighborhood, go trick-or-treating with us. That's why people can say what the F they want about Mayor Betsy Price. Man, that woman did town hall bike ride meetings in the city where the people can ride bikes with her. Her and Mayor Mattie Parker, before Mattie Parker became mayor, they created a reading initiative program in this city because they're dealing with the businesses who are coming here. And they're saying, well, hey, man, why won't y'all bring any jobs here to Fort Worth? Well, these big companies like Amazon and Google, they're looking at these literacy tests in schools. And they're saying that Fort Worth won't have a job market in the future because at this time, only 35% of children in this entire city could read on or above their grade level. So because a lot of things happen between the police and the black community, Mayor Betsy Price got a bad rap in the black community. But man, they don't know that reading program she did was for our black babies. She couldn't come out and say it. Man, when I know this for a fact because I became a part of it. Door-to-door knocking to try to help children to read. So they created that. So that's when they won my heart because they had a focus on children.
Yeah.
A big focus on it. From the mayor's position, when typically that's not the concern of the mayor. It's the ones that can vote. The school board and superintendent is normally concerned about the kids. But because we can't bring jobs here because of how bad our kids are doing in literacy tests, then of course that's going to concern the mayor.
And then of course you don't have to make that a red or blue issue. You can agree with that.
There you
can
go.
disagree with something else. Just take the idea and say that's an admirable idea and it helps.
It never became a red or blue issue. It says Fort Worth read. It's for everybody.
Yeah, man. That's all. That's the way it needs to be done.
So I tell black children, man, listen to them white people. All of them ain't hateful. I'm telling you, little homie, and all my life of getting in trouble with the law, it's been black people, but it's been white people open doors saying, Charleston, go that way. It's been white people saying, hey, Miss White, I don't think they treating your son right. Call such and such. I tell white people, as I've told you, don't let your lack of blackness stop you from connecting. At the end, we're all still humans.
Yeah.
So we can relate on a lot of things outside of color, tradition, and culture.
Just it's got to build more of that trust. But like you said, we got to be able to reach hands across color lines and socioeconomic lines and political lines and try to find ourselves on the same page. This is where we're going with all this.
If we don't document your story, man, I think we lose out. I think we're gonna rob the future generation of a tool that they can use to break racial barriers.
Well,
these stories have to be told.
We're gonna tell it.
Yeah.
We're gonna tell it right too. It's not gonna be something like people are gonna think. This isn't gonna be just my story. And there's people that I'm gonna reach out to you, get in touch with too, so we can hear other stories. We've already heard many already, but it's gonna get done, man. And you'll be in it.
Well, I like to.
You'll be in it.
Yeah. If we can get my little man here at some point on the show one time, him and his mother. I would love for that to happen. I had a mother reach out to me, and say she had an 8-year-old son, who's a special kid with autism, and he understands me. And I'm saying, man, all these grown folks, they don't understand. She said he understands you.
And the only guy that understands him.
Yeah, and I told her I got to meet him today. I said, can I meet him today? And she's like, what? I said, yeah, I need to meet him today. So
well, bring them on camera. Let's.
Come on,
want to get on camera? Come on,
buddy. Yeah, my partner. Come on, man, give me a hug. What's up, buddy? Let's talk to you. Let's talk to you, man.
Put that mic out in front.
Stand up right quick.
There you go. Just push it back and then. There you go. Do a little turny turn.
There you go.
Hey, what's your name, buddy?
Austin.
Austin.
Yes.
I used to live in Austin.
Now you 8 or 9?
8.
8. Okay, I got it right.
What do you do for a living?
Live with my mom.
Hey, that makes 2 of you. That's why he understands you.
Yeah, so you watch a lot of my videos?
Yes.
You do for real? I don't even know what to ask you because I've been saying, well, okay. Oh, now my videos normally aren't PG-13. How can you pass all that cussing?
Mommy is watching it in the car.
So let me ask you something. How is it that you understand me? What am I saying? Am I saying anything wrong?
No.
What can you tell the people what I'm saying? What do you think I'm saying?
How the people make it in life and stuff.
Wow. How do people make it in life at 8 years old to be able to come up with that narrative? What grade you in?
Second.
Second?
Yes.
What kind of video game you got?
Minecraft.
What kind
Hey,
of game you want to buy? You want to buy a new game? What game you want?
I like Legos and
Do you have the Lego game?
yes.
You want to get a new one?
And I love animal games.
So, what kind of grades do you make?
Good grades.
Good grades?
Like 100.
woo!
What about the citizenship? E's, S's, N's? You get N's?
Yes.
E's or N's? Because the E's is the good. The N's is kind of not satisfactory, meaning you can get E's. Oh, okay. I'm about to say, man, we can't get no game if you get N's. Now, listen, how much do you think one of them games cost?
A lot.
A lot? What's a lot? $100?
Yes.
You want $100 to buy one?
Yes.
Can I pay you for being on this podcast?
Yes.
Because you know they pay you if you can get a podcast and get you some streaming and stuff like that. So I'm going to give you $100, and that's what you earn for being on this podcast. Okay? I'm going to give you 120, and I want you to give mama 20 and put it in a gas tank, and you pump it. Can you do that for me?
Yes.
All right, cool. So here you go right there. So that's 1. What? How many 20s make 100? 5 or 4? Can you? I'll let you figure it out here. You figure it out later. That might just be $100. Get it? That's $100. Now you call mama later and say, "Mama, did he give you 100 or is that $70?" So you figure it out and call me back later and let me know how much was it.
Okay.
You doing multiplication or just add?
Add.
Okay, yeah. So add them 20s up and then call me and say, "Okay, I appreciate you."
Okay.
All right. I appreciate you.
No idea how much that means to me. And then this is the famous Tegan. I didn't
Yes,
realize the fishbowl.
Yes, ma'am.
They're talking to this.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Like I learned about you from him. I was watching a video and he kept talking about it. So I went on Amazon and I just read a little bit. I said, it took him down 51. Like, how did you blend it in? Like, that's amazing. That's amazing. And I have a small son that I don't want that.
Yeah.
I was a horrible kid and I don't want him like that.
Well, we learned we learned the most from our worst mistakes
Yeah.
that don't kill us.
Yeah.
Right. And so, you got 2 allies here. So anything you need for yourself or your kid, we're here to help you out. That's what we do.
Thank
So
you.
I appreciate
we're
you for
honored to
helping.
have you here.
Yeah, 'cause
I mean, this
was gonna
is-
drive out there to you, but I had to come be on the podcast, so I asked your mom to bring you to me. So
Oh my God. Thank you
That's
so
awesome.
much.
Thank you for being on the show. We really appreciate it. You're
He's
making
my
it happen.
blessing. I wasn't due to have any kids. They told me I would die from seizures. But at 34, I was just like, let's see.
That's awesome.
So
all right, Austin, well, we appreciate you, man.
say thank you.
You keep making good choices and decisions and keep making mama proud.
Fist in the middle. Everybody in. Bam.
You know I do.
Bam. Superpowers.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
What's it take? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Success around the sandbox with second grade rules. A confident fake to make you do dramatic phase is the one to see you through. Don't let those bigots take you off your game, or just to let them loose. You sit here in the front